What we have next is we have Stanley Henry from The Attention Seeker talking about your personal brand. Now, this is a really riveting one for me. I started following The Attention Seeker on TikTok, early days of TikTok, when people said to me, you're such a creep being on TikTok because of all the dancing. I'm like, I don't see any dancing. What are you talking about? And as videos coming out of Attention Seeker that got cut through that were super engaging and showed me why TikTok was such a different platform and super interesting content. I didn't actually realize you guys were from New Zealand, from Aotearoa. And then when I did some digging after following for quite a while, going, holy moly, that's awesome. So on the world stage, we're really lucky to have him. Stanley Henry, everyone.
Awesome. Oh, wow, that's bright. Awesome. Wow. This is working? How do I do this? No. Oh, well, that'll come up when it comes up. But while we're doing that, I just thought, firstly, today's workshop is a workshop, right? So we're going to get interactive. And I was just saying to Tanya down the back that my trick with these sorts of things is to get you to do way more. And it makes me look really good because you guys get really engaged and do heaps of stuff. And I barely speak. So we're going to do that, okay? So you guys are going to do a whole bunch of stuff. And if you think you're sitting there going, nah, I'm not going to do it, well, you just wait and see how I make you do it. So get involved, otherwise you're going to get called out. I'm really not afraid of doing it. And the second thing is that you'll get the most out of this talk the more direct and personalized your questions are. So if there are things that we're going to go through and you really want some support in it, ask me. I'm very, very good at talking out of my ass, and I can make sure I give you exactly what you need. Well, it might not be exactly what you need, but it'll be for someone, and hopefully you get some good out of it. The other thing is if you haven't already figured out, if you're not a big fan of crass language, you probably need to block your ears now. I'm sorry in advance. It's just going to come out. I'll try my best to not say words starting with C, but there might be a video that you're about to watch that does have some really bad language. And so I'm sorry, okay? You've all been warned. You know where the exits are. Do not put a Google review up saying how bad and crass my language is. I'm just going to keep talking crap for a while because there's nothing up there. I don't know what else to really say, except who has seen our TikToks before? Has anyone seen it? Can you put your hands up if you have? Oh, that's all of 4, 2, 3 people, which is cool. So you're going to get to see one soon and what it's all about. And I guess the comment we just had from Matt was that didn't even know that you guys were from New Zealand. And we get that a lot of the time as well, that where are these guys from? They don't realize that we're from New Zealand. They think that we're from Australia or from America or something like that. And I guess it's quite a sad thing to think about, that there's people out there in New Zealand doing all this great stuff, but people just assume straight away it's great, so it must be from another country. And that's a bit shit. So what today's talk's about is how can we find our audience? How can we talk to them in a way and create content in a way that is engaging? It does go viral. You do get lots of views. And I'm going to get a question later on today. Oh, here we are. Cool. I can stop talking shit. All right. Let's pretend I started right now. Okay. This is Attention Seeker. And this is me. One more warning is my fonts may be all out of place because I was useless and I only got my slides over to the guys today, and they don't have my font file. So if the font looks all messed up later, well, you'll figure it out. So kia ora, my name's Stanley, Managing Director of a company called The Attention Seeker. And as I said, we're going to make you watch a TikTok. So this is our profile here. It's a bit of an old photo, but we're sitting at about 390 something followers now, 90,000 followers. 390 is not anything to brag about. 390,000. And why that's significant is that from a B2B business, it's one of the largest accounts in the world from that perspective, right? So there's obviously much bigger creators and things like that, but from a B2B, it's one of the largest in the world. And we know because we constantly look and try to find them because we want to collaborate with other agencies and stuff as well, because TikTok's that sort of platform. So it's quite significant, and all we did was we did all the dumb stuff that we do in real life and put it on film. And here's a video for you to watch so you can understand.
Convincing my boss to hire someone under me.
So, I'm doing too much work.
Hey, how many TikToks have you put up this week?
Regardless, I'm doing too much work. So I thought it's a really good idea that we hire someone under me. Instead of posting a LinkedIn ad, because that's for old people, that I would persuade you with another presentation.
Okay, cool.
Now hiring part-time video editor. Can you create sick cunt videos?
Yep.
Can you handle light bullying in the workplace? No pussies allowed. Are you an ally to get Stan to shake ass?
I don't know if I would hire them, man.
Well, I will, because they're working under me.
Oh, okay, you'll pay their salary. Cool, got it.
Anyway, applications. They should stitch into it this video with their application. Thoughts, questions, concerns.
Concerns. So, put it on.
Okay.
Fuck it, let's see what these fucking useless pricks can do.
Successful presentation.
I like this, better than your last one. And you didn't waste as much time.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, so that's TikTok, if you haven't seen it. So that video there had 11 million views, which is nuts, right? Like, I've been posting on LinkedIn for like 4 years now, like constantly, and my biggest post has had 100,000 views. And the next one down is like 70,000, and it drops to 40. And then I say those big numbers, but really most of them are like 3,000. And so like 11 million views is just mental. Like, it's just a number. If you haven't had that, and you know, everyone's like, oh, I don't do it for the views. You know, I don't do it for the vanity metrics. You've never had 11 million views. It is a dopamine hit like nothing else you've ever had. For like 3 days straight, I was just like, oh my God, people love me. I'm wanted. I'm needed in the world. My life is so great. It's amazing. We had like literally like 4,000 people apply for that job. If you go search it, you can find all the stitches that people did to it. So those of you too old, like a stitch on TikTok is like, you take the video, you stitch it, and you put your video next to it, and they both go out. Or you duet it, and there's a whole other thing there. And so applicants all came through that way, so it was crazy. Like, it just went off. We hired a guy called Don from Canada. He ended up being the guy we hired through that process. So we did a whole like online group interview. We did the whole thing, made a whole bunch of content, and we hired Don. And Don is outrageous. Like, he's so good. And he's part of the team. Like, he's there at every morning brief. He's there at Friday afternoons for our 10X, which is like our learning. We do an hour and a half of learning on Friday afternoons. He's always there. Best hire, best process to go through. But also a whole bunch of business came through it as well. We signed a makeup brand, a skincare brand in Miami. And it was just epic, right? And the reason I'm talking about it here is to make sure, because I know in rooms of small, medium businesses, that you all dismiss TikTok, or if you do look at it, you're like, I can't be bothered learning a new platform. And then Threads came out last week, and you're like, oh, fuck this. It's too much shit to do. I'm over it. I'm sticking to Facebook groups. I can't be bothered. So my point is, keep your mind open. There's lots of stuff you can do, but we've got to find which platform's right for you, okay? Right now. So next up, okay. Oh, look, the font's not too bad. Who doesn't know who this person is? Cool, good, that's good. Okay, so I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna introduce you to a few people that you already know, and I want you to think about like what's in common amongst all these people, okay? So, we've got Kim Kardashian, this guy, who doesn't know him? Yep, got the right room. What about this guy? Who doesn't know who this guy is? There's a couple people? Yeah, I thought there might be a few. Okay, biggest YouTuber on the planet. Outrageous. This guy's worth more than this whole room. And I don't even know who you are, but I'm pretty confident saying that. So tell me, what do you think's common about these three people? Social media? What else? I can't see you, so I'm just pointing. Any others? Brand? Yep, big brands. Or they are big brands. What else? Heaps of money? Yep. Volume of content? Yeah, good one. Any others? Pardon? They are the brand? Yep. There's someone else in here? Controversy, yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Any other things? Okay, let's go through and we'll see how we go. So, Kim Kardashian, we all know her. She's fucking everywhere. You can't get away from her. And for those of you, especially the men in the room, this is where she started. You probably all know. She had a really interesting video that came out. But actually before that, before her big break, she was actually the side chick of Paris Hilton. So if you go back and look at all Paris Hilton's old photos and videos, you'll see Kim K there. Nobody knew her at the time. She was just a socialite, I guess. And before that, her brand started with her father getting that guy out of murder. But her family's been part of that the whole time, right? It's like been a pretty long journey to get where she was. And even that video that sort of did actually launch her career, let's be honest, that was like 2007 or something like that. Like, I can't remember the date, but it was ages ago. Next up, oh, bit of a delay. Elon Musk. What's he famous for? Where did he come from? PayPal? So he had something before that, right? So he had Zip2 before PayPal. That was back in like 1998. He had PayPal, did that big exit. He did SpaceX. And what else? Tesla. And so he famously bought into Tesla, made everyone think that he founded it. And he's super famous for that now, right? And Tesla is what it is today because of his brand. It doesn't spend any money on advertising. It's all personally done off the back of Elon Musk. And then more infamously, he's doing something to Twitter. We're not sure what it is yet. But he's either going to be a genius or he's going to be an idiot. And if history says anything, he'll be a genius. We'll just find out. And an idiot at the same time. So we'll find out. If Zuck says anything to do with it, he's going to be an idiot. But like that journey started back, well, Zip2's exit was like in 98, something like that. He would have started before that. It's been a long, long ride. And then we got Mr. Beast. So Mr. Beast, he's like 25 or something like that, 26. His first video came out about 12, 13 years ago. It was a Minesweeper video. You know, that game your kids play. It was pretty bad, and he just kept on making videos non-stop for 12 years. And then it sort of culminated in this video. Who's seen this video? Put your hand up, the Squid Game one. Yeah, there's a few people in the room who've seen it. So another 360 something. That, to be honest, that's an old photo. That's probably seen like 400 million now. 400 million people have watched that one video that he made. And that wasn't a fluke. He does this all the time. There's 260 million views. He does this every week. He just puts out videos and he gets no less than 9 figures a video these days. What else have I got on there? And with Mr. Beast, one of the things about him is that he makes all these videos. And the reason I'm telling you that is that is his top of funnel strategy. That's it. I have this YouTube channel, Mr. Beast. I get hundreds of millions of people watch, and then I'll just push you into wherever I want you to spend your money. And so he gives away a lot of money, because you'll see like $500,000 he gave away, 456 million, he's given away planes and cars and all sorts of stuff. But he also started Mr. Beast Burgers, and in its first year did $100 million in revenue, because burger joints wouldn't sponsor him. So he's like, I'll make my own burger joint. He did the Feastable chocolates, which, to be honest, I haven't really looked up where they're sitting in revenue perspective, but like in their first weekend, in like a handful of Walmart stores, without anyone knowing they were in them, he hadn't actually launched them, they just got put on the shelf early. They did 100 grand in sales in a weekend, right? Like no one even knew. And now he's in all the Walmart stores and you can buy them online. His top of funnel strategy lets him do whatever he wants. But it's been 12 years of putting out cringe videos non-stop, consistently, until he can get to this. All right? So, now what can we tell about these three people? Is there anything else to add to what you've already said? Time. What were we saying over here? What was this? No, go for it. Go, please.
Famous for being famous.
Famous for being famous, yeah. The best kind.
They're able to start in some sense.
Yep, definitely. Yep.
Build a reputation for themselves.
Yep, build a reputation. Yep.
Consistency.
Consistency. Perfect. Yep. Yep. All right. All correct. And my main takeaway, so all of them are correct, but my main takeaway for a lot of these, for a lot of you guys to learn from, is time. There's time, there's consistent, they've got to put out a lot of stuff consistently to make sure they build up to that audience. And I think a lot of people underestimate how much time it takes to build brands, but also think that they can't do it themselves because they look at people like this and they're like, oh, there's just no way I could do it. Mr. Beast was a 12-year-old kid in his mum's spare bedroom, in his bedroom at his mum's house. That's where he's built his empire, right? Like, you guys all have businesses already. You can probably find some resources to make some videos. So it can be done. It just takes time and putting yourself out there, not taking yourself too seriously. So that brings us to us. I have no idea what the next slide is because I can't really see it properly, but I'm guessing it's saying about who we are and where we are. Oh, yeah, there we go. So LinkedIn is a platform I use a lot. Who's seen us, my team, or me on LinkedIn? Oh, yeah, a few more people than our TikToks. That's cool. Which is funny, right? Because like we get way less views on here, but I guess know your audience, which will come back. Remember that for later. It'll be a segue. So LinkedIn, we post a lot in here, and the reason I want to talk about it is just how powerful it is as a tool. Oh, now my clicker's not working. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, and we go? Nah. Oh, this will get fixed up, and I can talk through these slides. But look, LinkedIn is a great tool. It's a great tool for you guys, your small businesses. It is super powerful. Your audience, if you are a business, actually, let's just put hands out. Who here is a service-based business or B2B-based business? Oh, look, most of the room. Who's not? Who's B2C, sells like stuff to consumers? One, two, couple of people? Okay, cool, a few people. So for the ones who put your hand up first, stupidly important. The ones who are more B2C, it can be right. You need a very deliberate strategy. You might be looking for distributors or investors or something like that. Otherwise, we've already talked about TikTok, and that's your place. But LinkedIn's super powerful, and like for you guys who are B2B professional services, you'd be silly not to be on LinkedIn and not using it a lot. It's just your whole target audience. All the business owners on there peacocking, showing off how good they are to everyone else. Why don't you be part of that and get their attention? So this is us. There's a little video here. I'll sort of swipe through. Give you a little insight into who we are.
Hey, there's a doorbell. Come on in. Ooh, the office gossips. Don't tell them anything. Welcome to the Attention Seeker. We might look like the average marketing agency, but we're so much worse. Yeah, have a coffee. The barista is world class. There's our wonderful slaves. They like to hang together where it's safe. Oh, and dancing on the side wall is Joni, our resident TikToker. She lives here now. We call this room Obscura. The photos we take in here give you instant rockstar status. Next up, it's the AV Club, where you can talk shit for days and will make you sound intelligent. Moving through to the office, there's our team working on some very important tasks. And they're the ones who planned, shot, produced, and edited this film for you in under an hour. Not bad, eh?
Cool. So that's our little team. Oh, yeah, definitely font's messed up. That's fine. Ignore the list. Let's just pretend that wasn't there. That's just gone, right? Okay. Now, I told you we're going to do some stuff. So first up, audience. Who, where, what. Okay. So for the next, I think I'm meant to be finishing here like 12:35 something. So we've got like 25 minutes. So we're going to do like 8 minutes per thing. We've got 3 things to do. So real quickly, audience, who, where, what. Who's your audience? What do they look like? Where are they? And what do they watch? Okay. So what I want you to do in groups, and for those of you sitting in seats, maybe just like find people next to you, make a little group, and those of you on tables, you're sussed. Who are the people you're talking to, right? So be real specific. Like for me, it's small to medium business owners who are B2B and professional services. Oh, look at Jill there. And you are, most of those audience for us are based in New Zealand, for that sort of audience for us, right? So that's us, that's who they are. Where are they? Well, it's not the geographic location. I'm talking about where is their attention. So are they on LinkedIn? Are they on TikTok? Are they on Facebook, Instagram, Threads now, whatever it might be, YouTube? Or are they only in the newspaper? Like, do they only read newspapers? Do they only watch TV? Are you only advertising to 80-year-olds who watch TV1? Like, is that where they are? Who? And then what are they watching? Or what are they consuming? So if you think about like the content that those people, what are they interested in? And don't smoke your own supply. Like they're not interested in how good you are as an accountant or how good you are as some SaaS product. Like actually, what do these people watch? And just if you are those people too, like if you are selling to other professional services, other business owners, what do you like watching? What things are you entertained by and engaged by when you are in the mind frame that you are, right? So when I'm a business owner, what do I like to consume? So as Stanley, the business owner, I like to consume content on LinkedIn. It's where I go as a business owner. When I'm more feeling creative and content sort of driven stuff, I go to YouTube. Okay, so that's, as a business owner, I am. So open discussion, do this now. You're gonna need it for the next part. So figure out who are they, where are they, and what do they watch? I am gonna randomly call you out to say, so you better have something. And if you need help, give me a yell. All right, we'll start to bring it back in. And sorry if you haven't had enough time, and if I pick on you, just think really fast on your feet because I'm going to as well. So can someone tell me, because someone volunteer so I don't have to pick on people, who your audience is? Like who are they describing to us? Who wants to go first? I'm going to start picking on people. I'm just going to like random. Oh, there we go. Look at this brave man.
Okay, we target CFOs and mid-sized organizations in low-tech industries.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much. Anyone else want to share? Yes?
Anybody who owns a property?
Anyone who owns a property. Cool. Okay. What's terrible about that example? Yeah, it's pretty. Well, it's New Zealand, right? It's like the land of the own your own home sort of crap. So it's like, so how do we get more specific?
Well, we're a plumbing company. So.
Plumbing. Okay. So if we think plumbing, and we want anyone who owns a home, where would they live? So let's jump on here. Let's use this as a segue to the next one. So where would those people be?
Well, we operate in the Horowhenua, the Manawatu, Wellington, and Far North, so anywhere around there.
So again, back to the original thing, like where is their attention going?
Oh, where's their attention going?
Yeah.
Probably to, like the Horowhenua in Manawatu is probably the newspaper.
So who agrees? Who agrees with that? Who agrees that people's audience or their attention for, plumbing business, they want everyone of a home, they think everyone of a home's attention is going to the newspaper.
Well, no, not everyone.
Yeah, but this is the thing, and that does not call me out. This is good because lots of people think like this. That there isn't blankets for this, and so you need to start when you're developing a personal brand or a marketing strategy, like who you're actually going to target at different places. So, for instance, I'm going to go on a tangent here, just some people that we've worked with in the past because it makes sense to me. But like in trade services, so we've got a client who's an electrician, and they could have gone on Facebook and Instagram, all that stuff, to go after anyone with a home. But instead they thought, what's a big ticket item that we could go for? Well, property managers. Because property managers manage 150 properties each or something like that. And if we got 10 of them who were their trusted electrician, we just got 1,500 clients, just like this, overnight, right? And so they're not even property owners. Well, they could be, but I'm not after their property. I'm after all the properties that they manage. And so now you're getting real granular. So you're getting property managers in the residential space, right? And that's who we're going to target. And then so, okay, well, where are they? Well, they are probably everywhere, but as a property manager, they're going to be on LinkedIn. They're going to be on LinkedIn as the property manager, right? It's very different if you're looking for them when they're the mother or the father. They're going to be in a different place. But as the property manager, they're going to be on LinkedIn. They're going to have Ray White, property manager, and then you're going to be able to talk to them and show them content and appeal to them. And then if you think about like anyone in an admin position, the thing that you do when you make a decision in an administration role or someone in a support role or operations role is you're going for the path of least resistance, right? Like if you need an electrician for something, you're just going for the one that's right there in front of you. So if someone's coming knocking on your door and showing you all this cool stuff, when you need an electrician, you're going to pick up the person to call the person that you know, or a plumber, or whoever it might be, right? So this is an important question. Anyone else got an idea for where their customers are, where their attention lies? Yep.
I'm a hairdresser.
Yep.
And my clients come from everywhere, no specific area, because we have clients from babies
Yep.
right through to senior age.
Cool. Okay, so let's break that down a little bit. Give me a breakdown of like, who's the most common client?
Depends on who, that's where my son is, but for somebody like me,
Yep.
I specialise in doing children.
Okay, children. Cool, so let's start there. So if we think about children in hairdressing, how many of them are going to be watching something and be like, oh, I'll go to that hairdresser? Like, it's probably not going to happen, right? It's just not going to happen. So who makes the decision then? The mum. Okay, cool. So, and it's the mums, right? Because dads are useless. Like, I was waiting for that. But you know what I mean. Like, in general terms, it's the mother who's going to make that decision. It's just a percentage average. So mothers making the decision about their children. So where are their attention to get that? Where do you think that would be? Do you have an idea? Where would those mothers' attention be?
Like where they hear about it.
Yeah, or where's their attention going? Like, where do mothers spend most of their time?
Play centres.
Play centres is a good spot. Yeah, that's thinking outside the box a little bit. So, yep. Are you sure you want? Yeah. Reels? Instagram Reels? Yeah, 100%. Who here is a mother with young children? Is there any in here? Okay, where do you spend your attention time? Insta? Yeah. On what sort of content on Insta? I mean, like, as in, is it video, static post, stories, reels, video, reels, sort of stuff? Yep. Someone over here too? Facebook? Okay. And Pinterest? Interesting one. Pinterest is a good one. Was there anyone else? Facebook. Okay. So there you go. There's some of where. Like, there's a sample size of 3. But it is, I would say that just from knowing industries, that's where you're going to find the mothers when they're being mothers. They're not now the CEO of a company on LinkedIn. They're now the mothers where they are on Instagram and Facebook. Pinterest is a real interesting one too, because you might be searching like haircut styles for an 8-year-old boy, and your shop might come up with all the different hairstyles that you've done on Pinterest, and they start going, oh, these are nice, and then realize, oh, this is a New Zealand business.
So we use the more for
Yeah, cool. Yeah, LinkedIn's a pretty hard one. And so okay, that's great. So perfect. So you got Facebook, Instagram. Fantastic. What do you think your people are watching? Who's got some examples of what you think your target audience is watching? Anyone? Was everyone stumped on this one? Yeah. Anyone not stumped on it?
A little bit. So I'm a wholesaler in
Yep.
the sporting goods industry, and then I'm looking for potential brands.
Yep.
And I think those brands are going to be at a growth stage on the other side of the world, so they
Cool.
won't know about New Zealand or any of that. And what I think they'll be looking at is my website and my LinkedIn and anything that kind of gives them social, we call it like credit.
Yeah.
Can he actually do the job?
Okay. So this is always like a good thing of me to remember that I got to explain myself way better, because they're probably not looking at your website because they don't know who you are.
Yeah.
But so if we think about them, who are they? So who are these people? Who, like, job title? Like, who's the actual person? What did you say? Sorry.
Sales and marketing managers.
Sales and marketing managers? Yeah. Okay. So sales and marketing managers, where do they spend their time as sales and marketing manager? Do you know? When for brands? And in your case, it could be a few different places. They're probably looking at things like Google, because they're probably doing research and trying to search for stuff. They're probably looking at stuff on TikTok and Reels and things like that, of like trending things that are coming through. There's potentially even a case to be made that they're on LinkedIn as a professional. Probably not going there for inspiration, let's be honest. But what they're consuming, I think, is a real good conversation to think about, right? Like, what do sales and marketing people in those brand spaces are looking for? When they're looking for something to find you, they're probably looking for, like, how can your, whatever it is that you do, support them? But that's not like, that just like fundamentally is a boring piece of content. So like, you know, like, who gives a crap? So actually what they're doing is they're probably on those platforms trying to be entertained, and how can you shortcut them? That's what we did, right? With those videos that we did, like, we hacked into all these people's brains because they were like social media marketing people, or they're small businesses, whatever it might be. They're watching our content. We hijacked them going, fuck, this is interesting, this is funny. And then they watch enough of them because we put so much out, and then they're like, wait, who are these guys? And then they go figure it out and they do their due diligence, and now they're looking at our website, right? And they're finding out what it is that we do and things like that. So it's just an interesting thing to think about, is that when we go and we start to produce content, we're always too busy worrying about, like, how do we make ourselves look awesome on this footage or this post or whatever. And like, honestly, no one cares what you do. Not in this world, not in the world of TikTok and Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels and YouTube. All they care about is, like, am I entertained by this piece of content? Is it valuable to me? And when we say valuable, like, it's not always like, I'm going to give you a ton of value. Like, you know, like, you hear like me and all the other LinkedIn people going, share heaps of valuable content on here and make sure you're giving people value and they'll come back. No one really cares. Like, are they entertained? My biggest posts on all my social media are just me talking about my team and like the cool shit that we do. And then I'll go and give you like $100,000 worth of advice and everyone's like, mate, can you move on? Like, this is boring. I don't really care. Let's go to the next chapter. So that's just something to think about. What is it that's going to hijack them and make them consume the content, right? Okay, next piece, community. So engage, include, respond. People forget that social media, at least, is social, right? They forget the first part of it, which is social, which in most social situations that I'm involved in, or I want to stay involved in, they're two-way, right? It's not just a bunch of people standing around listening to one guy talk and then we're just watching and applauding, right? It's a two-way conversation where we all can get involved. And a lot of brands miss out on this. Like, a lot of brands will put out content, they get a whole bunch of interaction and they do nothing with it, and they're not fostering any community. You can't create a community. That's something to think about. You can only be part of one. Communities exist and you get to speak to them, and you got to try to earn their trust. So we got to engage with them, we got to include them, and we got to respond. So I'm going to take a couple minutes because I've been talking too much, but you got 2 or 3 minutes, and what I want you to think about is, what are the communities you're looking for? Are there communities that you want to be a part of? Because we all talk about it. We all talk about communities we want to be a part of, but who are they? So I'll give you 2 minutes. Who are the communities that you'd love to be a part of, or you'd love your brand to be a part of because it would be beneficial to your business? Does that make sense? Any questions of what I've asked for? Yeah.
This doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
An example.
Okay, what's your business?
Web design.
Web design? Okay. So there's a couple ways to look at a community for you. So there's either the community of other web designers or professionals in your industry, or there are people that there's a particular audience that we just talked about, they may have a community. So when we did the who was yours?
Small business owners that are looking to have more effective online presence.
Okay, cool. So like everyone in this room, so like small business owners, there's a community, right? And so, but that's good. So where's that community? Do you want to be a part of that one? Or would you prefer to be part of a community of industry professionals that you can share knowledge with, right? You might want to be part of both, but for this exercise, choose one. Does everyone get that? Cool. Okay, have 2 minutes and then we'll come back. Who wants to share their community with the group? No one. Everyone's talking. All right, let's bring it back in. I'm about to get ushered off the stage. And I haven't done my push to get you to buy stuff from the back of the room yet, so we need to. Yeah, I haven't done my sales pitch yet, so I haven't done the information for that. Okay, cool. Hands up if you want to share who your community is. Yeah, we've got one here.
Councils.
Councils? Cool. Tell me a little bit about who in the councils.
Councils in the asset management, looking after what assets they have, because they're generator companies, so I need to know where the generators are so I can get the money out of them.
Okay, cool. So who thinks that's a community? Who doesn't think that's a community? Put your hand up. A couple people. So, and I want to do this because this is good, because it's not a community, it's a target audience, right? And that's a real difference, and I want to make that distinction. Okay, so a community is where do these people go? Do council workers all jump into conferences together every other month and have little support Facebook groups? And nah, like they don't, right? Like, anyone here a council worker? No, like they just don't do it. But it is interesting to think about, because it's like, okay, well, where could the audience be? So as an example, I was telling you just before, I got a client in construction, he's a planner, and there wasn't any like proper industry construction podcasts that were happening in New Zealand, right? There were some people doing stuff around construction or implement, but he's a planner, so he's like right deep in white collar construction. He's not actually on the tools or anything like that. There was no podcast up there, and also not talking to the people who actually were on the tools. So he was like trying to mix the white collar world with the blue collar world, and he found a community of people who are super interested in that and really understood it. And now that podcast has gone on to not itself be really big, but for him as a business, it's New Zealand, right? There's not many big companies in New Zealand, so they all know who he is now. He's now one of the most sought after planners in construction, where he can dictate his price however he wants. And now he's a one-man band, turns over he's hitting that average that Rob Bull put up next door of 800 and something K. That's his average as a one-man band as a planner, just because like everyone knows him in that field. So that's more of a community.
So the
podcast found them. Yeah, the podcast found that community. He didn't make it. They existed, of people who are interested in the behind the scenes and the real nitty gritty of the construction industry. And not talking about builders and chippies and things like that, like proper big scale construction industry, that part of it, that was underserved. Anyone else got a community? Game developers, cool. Oh, companies, game developing companies? Yes. Okay, who in the game developing companies particularly? Who are they? Who in those companies do you actually want to be speaking to? Okay, cool. So now we're talking to business owners in the gaming field, right? So that's real key to get, right? Because that's very different to game developers, right? Like people who are coding and developing, very different people. So that's a really good community because there are a community of founders in that space because they all are either making billions or making nothing, and there's a real disparity in them, right? So like you probably want to talk to the ones down here, or I don't know, which one do you want to talk to? The ones that are making billions? Probably everyone does talk to them. There's only a few of those people. So you probably want to be the ones who are trying to make their way up, right? So there's definitely a community there somewhere, so you need to find them. Okay, anyone else? Any others? Yeah.
Institute of Directors.
Yep, cool. Institute of Directors, great community. It's already there. So where are they? Where do they go?
We're targeting the business owners.
Yep.
Understand their need for cyber resilience.
You are the Institute of Directors? Or you want to find the people who are part of that?
No, we want to find
People who want to join? Okay.
I'm part of that's part of our community, right?
Yeah. Okay, cool. So finding other directors. So where are they? They're probably the one on LinkedIn. Yep. YouTube for sure. Yep. We had someone else down here? Yep.
Networking group for women in business.
Cool, great. Yeah, perfect. So women in business, great community to find. There's heaps of places already there. Okay, there you go. Look at that. 5 minutes, cool. I got 5 minutes. Let's move on. What I wanted to say about community is like, just truly understand who they are and engage in them, include them and respond to them. Like be a part of that community. When you found the audience, right? So you found step one, you found the community, be a part of it. And last one is produce. So there's three things about produce, which is strategy, have an overarching strategy, quantity, and then quality, right? So everyone starts off at, let's make some quality content and let's go viral. That's never gonna happen. And then they go, oh, everyone's telling me to do lots of content and we'll get to quality. So that's stage two. And it's like, well, I don't know if that's really gonna work either. You still need some form of strategy that you're going in with. And I don't know if this is gonna make sense to everyone, but the way I think about it is winter is coming, okay? Who watched Game of Thrones? Put your hands up, Game of Thrones? Cool, good, resonates. Game of Thrones, we all watched however many seasons, 8 of them or whatever, and there was a common theme that ran through everything, which was winter is coming. Yep, death, because winter was coming. I mean, there's a lot more than death in Game of Thrones. There was, yeah, we'll get into that later, incest, whatever else you want to watch. But actually, if you think about it, winter was coming, right? The whole time, there was this feeling that winter was coming. And so everything tied back into like, we have to do this now because winter is coming. And so there was a feeling of this overarching strategy that ran through it. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense for me, or for everyone else, but it does for me. When you have this thing that ties back, everything relates to. So for us, in TikTok, it's all about being chaotic and creative because we originally used it for recruitment. We were trying to find staff. And so we wanted people who fit our culture, which was chaos at the time, trying not to be as chaotic these days, but also creative. We wanted people who are super creative. On LinkedIn, my strategy with LinkedIn is a few things. It's team. At the moment, this year has been a lot about team, and that's because, as you know, a small business owner, everyone buys you, they don't buy your business. And so I had to try to convince everyone that my team was smarter than me. So my overarching strategy was to make sure team was part of all my posts. So whenever people worked with me, they're like, oh, that's Nate, or that's Joni, or that's Claire, or whoever it might be. I'm stoked to get to work with them. So when we think about content, strategy doesn't have to be too complex. Like you don't need to go pay tens of thousands of dollars to get someone to come up with strategy. Just think, I know who I want to talk to. I know where they are, what they want to consume. I know the community I want to be part of. What's an overarching thing I can have at the top of all of that, right? And that's my strategy. And then once you do that, just make shitloads of it. And it's all going to be shit. Most of it's going to be crap. Go watch our early TikToks. Terrible. Go read my early LinkedIn posts. Even worse. And what will happen is you'll hit some things. You'll hit some stuff. And then they will go off. And then now you know, okay, this is what people want to consume. But you can never get there just by like starting at quality. You can never go, I'm going to make this best piece of content. And everyone gets concerned. They're like, yeah, but I want to put out shit stuff. It's like, no one's going to remember because no one watched it in the first place. So they're not going to remember anyway. So just do it. And if they do watch it and it goes off, then it was good. And just because you think it's not doesn't mean you're right, because the algorithms and the audiences tell you that it's good, right? And look, if you get hate, even better. Oh gosh. Oh, I love some haters. I love some haters. Claire hates it. Sitting down here, my partner, because I'm in there fighting with them. And I love it. Like I get so excited by it. I'm like, yes, people are fighting, let's fight. But it just means that like if you are really pushing the boundaries of your content, then you are going to get haters, right? So to wrap up, just start. Honestly, just start with all of it. Just start finding your audience. Just start engaging with them as a community. Start commenting on their shit. Start commenting on their content. And then start putting out your own. And from that, if you do enough of it, you'll find the right method. You'll find the right formula to talk to the right people that you want to talk to and have the business come in. And maybe you'll get the same dopamine hits that we had on 11 million. Questions? I don't know if I got time. I think I went way over and I'm about to kick me off. Cool. Any questions? Yes.
Yeah. In terms of videos,
yeah.
On my Facebook page now, these things called stars popped up. One question is, what the hell is that?
Stars?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
People can give you stars.
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing is, how long should a video be? Like, people say 90 seconds, whatever, what's your strategy?
So real quickly, stars, I don't know what those ones are specifically, but all the platforms are sort of doing them, which there's just they're like new versions of They're just some of them are different, some are like giving gifts and all sorts of crap. Just ignore it. They don't really mean a whole lot. They're just something else to make you feel worse about yourself if you don't get them. In terms of length of video, this is my favorite question because everyone gets their knickers in a twist about this. All that matters is, did my message get across and was it engaging? That's it, nothing else. It could be 1 second long, it can be 4 hours. And everyone keeps talking about short attention spans, people getting shorter and shorter attention spans, but how many people have binge watched Netflix series over the weekend and you spent 9 hours? Yeah, your attention span's fine, right? It's fine, you're good. So, and that's the same with 21-year-olds. Everyone's like, oh, these kids these days, they got no attention span. Man, they watched Wednesday from episode 1 to episode 10 in straight on a Saturday afternoon. They can do it, right? So length doesn't matter. Yeah, just make sure it hits the point of engaging. Now I'm getting cut off. All right.
Can we give a huge round of applause for Stanley? I appreciate it.